Mr. Mittal, it was such a pleasure to hear your session. But one of the things that I took away from a conversation yesterday was when somebody said that the process has to move from patient centricity to patient driven. How can the patient become a part of the process where he or she drives the emphasis on quality in healthcare system?
Right. So I think the issue today is that the patients just depend. Once they enter, they become dependent on the system. And I think the healthcare system has tried to do. But today, the choices that are available, if we involve patient very much into their own process of decision making, the quality of the decision making improves. And if you look at it, when I get into meeting a doctor, unless I tell the doctor everything about myself, my past history, my family history, the medicines I take, most likely I'll land up with the wrong diagnosis.
Correct.
Now, the intent of the healthcare people is to get me the best health. Yes, right? So it's about involvement. And when they say involvement, the reason a healthcare organization exists is because there is a patient.
Correct.
So if there's a patient, where am I in it?
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So the focus today is on the disease.
Right.
Right. And I'm just happen to be the person carrying the disease.
Right.
But hey, what about me as a person? So I think the focus has to be on the person because I play a very big role in getting better or getting better outcomes. And I think this message is going around now. It will take time. But unless patient is given the right place, and by the way, we're not saying that patient is a customer. Yes, of course, he's a customer, he pays. But this is a customer who doesn't come by choice, did not provide finance for it. He's stressed and so is his family.
Right.
Every other customer buys by choice, goes by choice, has money for it and is enjoying. Here it's about, the enjoyment is about when they move out.
Correct.
Right? So I don't think this is a blame game. I think the healthcare is trying to do all it can to avoid errors. But I think we can significantly change this if patients are very deeply engaged and involved in it.
So the patients will be deeply engaged and involved. In fact, I was talking to Dr. Agarwal also, and he mentioned that the patients must demand quality. Now, patients, like you said, are going to a hospital or a healthcare delivery institution only because they have a need for it. It's never been out of choice. But today, they have a choice to ask for the best quality or the standards, the minimum standards that a hospital should provide. But they're not even aware of their rights and of even the standards that what they could expect. How do you think that institutions like Patient for Patient Safety can create this environment where patients start demanding the minimum standard of quality?
So, you can only demand if you know.
Yes.
Right? Because, so the question is, when you have an illness, you landed up in the hospital, it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know. You're not going to be reading up when you're sick.
Correct.
And Googling stuff, right? So I think what we as Patient for Patient Safety Foundation are doing is actually creating that awareness. Now, the problems that we are running in is that a person who is well, he says, I'm well, why should I read anything, right? But he or she doesn't know that the stroke or a heart attack or an illness doesn't come announced, right? So I think it is a journey for both us as a foundation as well as people that we are reaching out to. There will be awareness because it's getting more and more important. So what we are doing currently is to actually tying up with academic institutions who have very large students and alumni, with corporates because they have very large number of employees. And we are trying to educate them that it's not about you, 28-year-old, but it's also about you as a caregiver because your parents will fall sick and you would not know what to do.
Absolutely.
Now, when you use the word demand, right, it's about our expectation, right? And there has to be a mindset change where there has to be somebody who's listening to us, right? So we are here not being demanding. We are not going to a hotel and being demanding. We just want to go back home. Well,
yes,
we want to be treated with empathy. We want to be told and communicated what our situation is, how bad my situation is, how good it is. What should I do? So we have heard of stories where the surgeon just moves on after doing surgery, but then post-surgery, there is much care required. Otherwise, my knee replacement will not work.
Correct.
Do I get the right physiotherapist? Who is there? So this end-to-end care is what we need, right?
Absolutely.
And I think it's happening and will happen, but we'll be at it. It's a long journey. In India, we have huge issues of demographics and language barriers and so on. But today with technology, we'll all break them. So today the work that we are doing is getting converted into multi-languages. And sometimes it gets frustrating because our own people all say it's a noble cause, but people don't read. But I think they will start realizing that it is helpful for them.
Absolutely. And so before I let you go, how do you think events like CAHOCON are creating an impact towards patient safety? I mean, when we've seen now in the 8th edition, there are many more players from the ecosystem who are coming together, having conversations, not just based on quality, but other things which impact the quality. So what is the role of this kind of an event for creating the awareness for patient safety?
As we said, it's a journey, and every event that we get, every opportunity that we get, right, we move a notch up.
Right.
And I would say organizations like yours, publications like yours play a very big role. You are also here, right, to further and take this message out. So I think these conferences are extremely valuable, not only what's happening in the stage, but the networks that are coming up. Everybody understands and appreciates how many people we have met here today, which we couldn't have over a period. So I think CAHOCON is doing a wonderful job in this. It's a large job. We should just continue to do it. And thank you for taking our messages across to your audience.
It's always a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much.
Without what you want in.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.